Live. Welcome everybody. Today's gonna be an interesting episode. Timothy and myself are gonna try to do a quick episode for you guys because life is getting in the way and we have to get us we have to get everything sorted. But markets have been red this week, and slowly but wait a second. Yeah, I could hear myself double. So I was just double checking that. But yeah, Timothy and myself are gonna be looking at markets today. It's been an interesting week to say the least. The rally stopped rallying and we're coming off the highs a little bit. Many of us are taking profits as the market is sitting all-time highs. Timothy's going to tell us a little bit about the crypto markets. I'll tell you what I'm seeing in the macroeconomy. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below because we want to know what you're seeing in the markets. Because yes, I mean, it's been super interesting. I mean, the VIX is at 16, Bitcoin sitting on 113. We're off the all-time highs, right? Are we just like are you thinking because we were talking about we were talking just before the episode started whether you believe that this is a top or a bottom or kind of I want to hear your thoughts, Timothy, on that, but yeah, the market right now, Nvidia sitting on 174, so we broke the 180s. It's finding a little bit of green today, but the rest of the market is red, red, red. People don't trust Powell. People are scared right now. It seems low volume and volatility are here to stay. So we'll see what that entails. So Timothy, tell me, what are you seeing in the crypto markets right now? Because Ethereum was supposed to touch 5, 6, 7. What's going on here?
No, yeah, it's supposed to touch 5, 6, 7 in the future. Let's break down a bit and see where we've come from. The market has been going up since April, ever since we bottomed after those tariff drama, and now it's been going up in some kind of straight line, especially the markets, stock markets, and crypto. Yeah, is following Bitcoin, and right now Bitcoin is undergoing a classic bearish phase. So let me pull up the chart and explain you what I mean. So every cycle in Bitcoin has some weekly cycles. So you can see going from the beginning of the bull market, you had a few weeks of markets going up and down again, markets going up and down again. And each time that phase takes around 30 to 33 days. And right now, Bitcoin did the same from the April low and made a high around week 18. So that means if the bearish phase starts from those 30 weeks, we're gonna see a bit of choppiness until the end of of especially October, mid-November, let's say. So that's why I personally took profits or broke even with my altcoin positions just to have some cash in case that thesis plays out. That the market indeed has stopped for the 30-week cycle and will continue to trend down here. So that's why I'm a bit cautious with my portfolio. We're seeing a lot of altcoins at support levels, so I'm expecting in the short term we might see a bounce, but yeah, unless Bitcoin can reclaim 120 k, I think there's nothing meaningful happening. So I'm seeing that 120k as an upside trigger to go long again, but anything below that level is just a lower high. So I'm placing my orders around 110k, 100k, and yeah, the altcoins I'm watching are those that have outperformed Bitcoin in the last couple of weeks. I'm talking Ethereum, but you have BNB being strong, XRP was strong. Now you have also smaller coins like Link being very strong. So those are the coins I'm looking for to buy. Yeah.
So you've already set up your buy orders. Are you ready to deploy capital or
Yeah, my orders are set. So for Bitcoin at these levels, The reason why I didn't buy here is because I already have 3% allocation in Bitcoin. So I'm waiting for 110. And then for Ethereum, it's around 9% of my portfolio. So pretty high. So I'm just waiting for it to hit 4K. And then hopefully it can go lower to that 3,350. So you never know, but I'm placing my orders there.
Yeah, most of my contacts are saying the same things, that we're probably going to see some choppiness, but to the downside overall, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, markets seem to be doing the same right now. I mean, like it's low volume because many people are on holidays right now, right? According to the big names and the suits, they're saying seasonality is playing a part here. But I'm actually sitting in the camp that, like, actually I think it's a rotation from stocks and like risk on assets to a little bit more safety. I'm actually seeing. I saw some interesting data today that actually tells me that the spread between corporate bonds and the treasury is the narrow it has been since the 2000s, right? So it's like, this tells me a very interesting piece, that money is moving to secure those returns, like, which tend to be, usually you're paying like a 3-4% premium, but right now they're paying 0.8% on average, right? So I think we're seeing a migration now, and we're seeing volume starting to pick up a little bit, but it's mostly because of the selling, right? Like there is a lot of fears in the market because of Powell and Trump. The independence of the Fed right now is causing a little bit of uncertainty, and Jackson Hole seems to be center stage, right? Tomorrow we have Jerome Powell speaking, and it'll be interesting to see what he says, whether he's gonna like place like prepare the market for a 50 basis point cut, a 25 basis points, or no cut at all, right? I don't think we're gonna get a hike, but nothing is off the books right now. It all depends on the data, and the Fed continues to be data dependent. So yeah, it's an interesting day. Like it's an interesting days to be paying attention, right? Because we've just, like you said, we've gone up in a straight line, it feels like, right? So moments like this do feel like a breather, but then we have to pay attention to the close, like to the close dynamics of the market, whether it's just, are we going to start seeing a breakdown of whatever it's baked in, right? Because we are seeing interest rates being baked in, we're seeing all of the data being baked in, and we continue to say week on week, it's like, what else, what other news could we get? Right now we saw the meeting minutes, and the Fed is signaling data dependence. Like I don't think they're changing their stance, right? Like many people are thinking that this is political. I don't see the political aspect of it. I'm seeing just, we're trying to do the best we can, that's it, and based on the data that we're getting, we're just not comfortable making any sudden moves, and I'm happy with that, you know what I mean? But the market doesn't seem to like, I mean, it does like it because we are sitting close to all-time highs, both in the markets and cryptocurrency markets and everything. Could we see some weakness in the near future? I mean, a correction is welcome. You know what I mean? It cements prices, and it allows at least the markets to get a little bit of energy before we see that euphoria come back in again. So yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days trying to figure out exactly, because there wasn't any major
A lot of
news.
news, bad news coming out. Like, I feel like the focus is less on the good news and more on the bad news. For example, you had two important reports on AI this week. One saying that the productivity isn't higher than 3 hours a week for people using AI. So they're saying always AI is gonna make you more productive, make you lose less time. Well, the data right now is showing it isn't, and 3 hours is not that much. And then also about companies not really making more money using AI. So the a report stated that 70% of the companies implementing AI is not really making more money than before. But my take on that would be, I'm not investing in those 70%. I'm investing in the big companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft. And we've seen that in their latest earnings, the AI um, implementation is making them more money. So you just have to focus on the right businesses, I think, the ones that gonna indeed make more money, because that's why stocks go up. They make more money, and you have to ditch those that doesn't. So that's my take on those bad reports, actually.
Okay. Okay. So what are you bullish coming into September? Well, I'm guessing you're a bit bearish, at least in crypto. But what about stocks?
No, stocks and crypto is bearish because we're getting into a seasonality where we're the most bearish of all time. So starting the second half of August until mid September, even October, it's usually very bearish. And like I said, I do think we're gonna see a bearish phase in crypto, especially Bitcoin, which can drag some altcoins with it. I did had like an interesting chart showing the difference between, yeah, Ethereum and altcoins. Let me just pull that chart. So here we are looking at a trading view, and if you just look at Ethereum versus altcoins, let me check where the chart is. Yeah, so I've always said like Ethereum is gonna outperform altcoins, and that was in April. And since then, boom, Ethereum has really outperformed altcoins. But now it's kind of at strong support. So if traders are watching this level, they might say, okay, this could be a bounce for altcoins. Let's invest more in altcoins in the short term. Maybe, yeah, we'll have some bounce like this. Let me show you where the market indeed bounces for a while, and then eventually Ethereum takes over and we can start the next bullish phase. So probably somewhere in November where we can see Ethereum pick up again, because Ethereum is always the one who leads the bull market at the final stage, something like that. And yeah, top out somewhere. I don't think it will make new highs.
Okay. So we're seeing, but okay. So you're well, I guess you're not bullish right now, but then potentially bullish in the next little while
Well, the
with
thing is,
Ethereum.
when you look at dominance, dominance of some coin can go up while the dollar value goes down. So I might be bearish on the dollar value, but I might be bullish on the coin outperforming Bitcoin or Ethereum. And right now, I'm bearish on the dollar value for Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, but I'm pretty bullish on Ethereum and even some altcoins to see a little
Okay.
bounce.
Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. Let me ask you, what's on your desk right now? Because I know we got a little time, so let's get you. Let's get you. Other than Ethereum, I guess. Or is it? Are you trading around Ethereum?
No, no. So I'm not touching Ethereum right now. What's on my desk? I just posted a um, yeah, post about Celsius Holdings. It's a boring company, but boring companies do well when there's a lot of profit taking. So companies like Pepsi, companies like Walmart, those companies that actually nobody likes when there's a lot of hype. People used to tend to rotate from tech stocks into those companies. So my strategy is always to have flavors of them all. Have a little tech, have a little boring companies, have a little defensive, so that whenever there's rotation, you don't have to catch the rotation. You just position for the rotation to happen. And I saw my portfolio dip a little bit with tech stocks, but then the boring companies took over and I was break even. So that's the beautiful nature of having a diversified portfolio in different sectors.
Okay. Yeah. Right now, you know what I bought yesterday? I bought Target.
Because Target was bad earnings, right?
It had like it beat expectations, but the expectations were bad, right? Like they already had put down their expectations last quarter, and they ended up just coming down drastically, like 10% almost. And then I was like, it seems like an overreaction. The fact that they're holding on together, like obviously guidance is not like great, and they're having a lot of issues with like potential tariff issues and the consumer being a little bit weak. It was interesting. So I bought in kind of like I expected a bounce, and we did get a bounce, right? Like I think we touched the 90s and we went to 100. But that's like a very short term trade. I'll probably be getting out of that today, depending on just
Today.
because it Like it's a
Today.
day trade. Yeah. It's a day trade. Because the thing is, it's like I still don't know fully what target, right? Like it's just I saw the move and it's like, look, like Target has been punished a lot because of just the narrative that it has around it. Obviously, with the woke, the woke sort of like storyline, they didn't end up sort of like a lot of their consumer base ended up damaging, like sort of not accepting them for a reason. And then that's the problem when people start getting into like like companies start getting into the narrative. It's like sometimes maybe your consumer base doesn't believe that narrative, right? And then we saw that decline, and obviously we're seeing the decline of potential tariff effects and all of that. But now it just seems like overextended. So I just went back in. But again, this was a day trade. Like this was just get in, get out really quickly. It just seemed like an opportunity at the moment. Sitting at 98, I got in around 90. It's a 10% gain in the day. It's not bad.
Yeah.
So
I like how it took out this level here and then had a nice bullish candle.
yeah,
If we zoom in, let's see the candle.
yeah.
Uh
It's just that
yeah,
like it feels like an old coin. You know what I mean? At this point, it's just like because like we are seeing volatility like be prevalent. The fact that we've gone up so much tells you that volatility at least it was to one side. But right now, there's a lot of indicators that are telling me that we are seeing a toppy market, a frothy market, right? And we have to let go of some of that froth for other people to start putting in more money. I think it was like I heard a statistic where the majority of hedge fund managers are mostly invested in the stock market right now. So a lot of people missed this rally because they thought, oh, maybe we're going to see a damage. And the reality was we didn't see that damage. People assumed the worst, and the reality wasn't that, right? So we are just getting, like, in my opinion, we are getting a little bit of a breather. I've been selling as we head up higher and higher. We continue to sell a little bit of my portfolio, get out of some of my positions in order to then get sort of into better pricing, whether I can or not, or just get for a little bit more clarity, right? Because I don't think the Fed dropping interest rate or the FOMC dropping 0.25% is going to make a huge difference in the near future. But the market seems to be wishing that that was the reality. It's almost like, oh, we're going back to 0% interest rates, when the reality is just we're just dropping a little bit. It's something minor, right? At least that's what I believe, right? So I'm paying attention to like some stocks. I entered a UVIX position today just because I'm expecting a little bit of selling into the Jackson Hole meeting tomorrow. We've seen that the whole week. I'm kind of surprised because we just haven't seen any major data come out, right? Like the only thing is like potentially Powell might be a little bit more hawkish than expected. And it's like, well, it's okay, right? Like if they need to cut, they can cut drastically, right? Like if we see some major data in the unemployment rate, or we see some major data in the CPI, or they can drop really quickly. The Fed tends to act whenever they need to start acting, right? But right now, I just don't see a reason to act. I'm in the camp. I'm sitting with Powell. I like where we're at right now. Yeah, some companies are gonna get hurt, right? Growth companies that didn't have any sort of margin are gonna get hurt, and the fact that they have to borrow money at this levels will continue to hurt them. But hey, I just don't think that it's such a bad thing. Maybe getting a little bit of a flush into like, okay, what are the good companies that are staying here? What are the companies that are actually making money out of this? And it makes you be a little bit more safe with your money. I think
I
having that
feel like the
possibility.
comments I've been reading on Etoro, which is very retail driven, some really think they're geniuses. So we're
Well, we'll
starting to
see,
be at
right?
that phase where everyone thinks they're a genius, but in a bull market, yes, you are
Everybody.
a genius. Everyone is a genius. But let's see how you react when there's a 10, 15, 20% drop. Yeah, that's when we'll see how good your
Yeah.
trades are going.
No, the
Not
reality
your
is like,
trades, but the
yeah,
retail.
have you seen the Palantir? Have you seen Palantir? Palantir is crazy. By the way, we're in the dip end. This is the rumor. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Check out our portfolios in the description down below. This is not financial advice. This is just the stocks that we like and the assets that we're buying for ourselves and our copiers. There is risk involved, so make sure you pay attention and do your own due diligence. But yeah, the
Palantir.
Palantir trade. Everybody's like, oh my God, you see Palantir drop 30%. Oh my God, pandemonium. And it's like some people have bought that stock at $20.
Me
30% drop. It's
below
massive.
below 10.
Yeah. You know? So it's like,
It's
it's
down
like
25%, but look where it's coming from.
exactly. You know what I mean? So some people start freaking out about this, and it's like, look, like Palantir, I'm not invested in Palantir, right? And I don't understand fully the business in order for me to be like happily putting my money at risk. But many investors end up buying at the peak and freaking out 25% because it's 25% drop. It's a massive drop. And if you're in leverage, right, you're a 4x leverage that wipes out your account, right? So it's like, that's why I like to stay sort of like, solid companies at good prices is my first motto. That's the number one. And then if I see momentum trades that I can get in and out of, I tend to do those. But yeah, right now market's old today is all red. So today we might see the capitulation event of just like complete defensive selling into Jackson Hole tomorrow, which we have the meeting at 3 o'clock. It'll be interesting to see what he says. I might stream it. I might go live. By the way, I want to say we are at 360. How many followers are we at in Market Bus? Let me have a look. Because we are sitting very pretty right now. We are sitting at 367 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. We really appreciate it. You guys are, the Market Bus is 1 away from, or 2 away from my subscriber count of my personal channel. So it's growing. It's growing. We are up 38 subscribers in the last 28 days.
It's not the same because you're alone and we have a team of
correct
and Mimi.
Yeah, but it's growing rapidly, you know what I mean? Well, we have Mimi. Yeah, we have the Mimi factor, the Mimi effect, but yeah, it's been fantastic, you know what I mean? I'm super happy with the channel. Like, I like the growth. So yeah, make sure you follow, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure you put them out in the comments. We're more than happy to answer them for you. Yeah, pay attention to markets today because it's going to be tricky couple of days. We'll see what happens this week and next week. We got the earnings euphoria out of the way. We have Nvidia soon. I think Nvidia's next week. So that's going to be a catalyst and a half. Catalyst and a half.
Again.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, everybody, and peace out.
Bye.